All right, in this video, I'm going to show you basically how to mark all the way across the sheet of, this is 2 sheets, this is 2 half sheets of OSB, and this one's already been cut in half, but if you wanted to look at what a full sheet would look like, a full sheet is 4 foot this way, 8 foot this way. This is 48 inches, 96 inches this way. If you want to mark it across them, I ask students a lot of times, you know, like, hey, we need to cut this in half. So if we wanted to cut this in half, obviously I can't use the speed square because the speed square is not long enough to get me from this side to that side. All right. So we've got one of really 2 options. So speed square's out. We're going to set it to the side. We can use a chalk line. All right. So I don't know if you've ever used a chalk line or not, but so let's say that this part right here is 4 feet. Okay. We want to cut this in half. It's always, if you have the option, it's always better to measure off of your factory edge, all right, because your factory edge is going to be straight. This cut edge over here, whoever cut it may not exactly cut it straight. I've got 2 different types of chalk lines. Basically, it's some people call them chalk boxes. You put chalk in here, you get blue. All right, blue is less permanent. Red is a little more permanent. Now, when I say permanent, I wouldn't say for forever, but red stays on a little longer than blue does. So you've got 2 different types. Irwin, you can get different brands. All right, so we're going to cut this at 24 inches. So I'm going to measure from my factory edge. I'm going to put a mark at 24. A lot of guys, depending on what I'm doing, I'll use a crow's foot. Sometimes I'll just make a line. All right, and there, and there. All right, I want to make sure that you can see both sides of this. Yeah. So if you're working by yourself, you can, there's a little hook on the end of the string. You can put the hook on the edge, make sure this is in line. Now, whenever you do this side up here, you don't want to let your string touch your board yet. You want to pull, like I wrap the string around my finger. I want to pull tight, and I want to pull over the edge, right in line with my mark. And so if I pull tight, right here, that makes sure I've got a lot of tension here. That makes sure my line stays tight. All I gotta do is grab it here, pinch it, snap it, let it up. We got a nice straight line to go by there. All right, so you want to do a chalk line. Now you could run it obviously this way. This string in here is pretty long. You can, in a house, a lot of times if we need to put down, you know, walls or something, we need the wall to be on a certain line. We'll pop a chalk line like this, you know, 30, 40, 50 feet, and set the wall on that line. So you can use a chalk line. The other thing that you can use, I got on the wall right here, is a T-square. All right, this has 2 different names. You can either call it a T-square or a drywall square. All right. Now this only works. All right, this only works if the edge that you are putting it on is straight. If the edge you're putting it on is not straight, then it's going to be crooked. So if this edge is crooked, then this thing's going to be crooked, right? Now, so if I wanted to mark all the way across here in that same deal, I'm going to put this one parallel to that chalk line just so you can see what that looks like. I can put that on there. Now, the reason we call it a drywall square is if I were going to cut drywall, I don't cut drywall flat. Typically, the drywall standing up, but we will put this on drywall. I will run my knife down this straight edge right here. All right, my utility knife down the straight edge and cut through the drywall, fold it, and then cut up the back side. So we call it a drywall square for that. This thing is 4 feet, all right, meaning it will reach across the narrow width of the OSB or plywood, but it won't go across the long width. Now, if you wanted to go across the long width, all right, you could mark it this way, go to the other side and mark it this way, and you can get across your 8 foot width. So the maximum that you're going to be able to mark a straight line with your drywall square or T-square is 8 feet. If you turn it this way and hook it on the other side. All right, so that works out pretty good for either one. But you just got to make sure that you got a straight edge on either side. All right.